Hello and good afternoon, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us for today's premiere. We wish that you could be in person with us, getting to visit campus. It's a beautiful autumn day here, and so hopefully you can visit sometime soon. But hopefully you're just enjoying your whole day at premiere so far. You get to join us from the comfort of your own home, and so thank you so much for spending your afternoon with us. My name is Clairissa Templin. I'm the transfer admissions coordinator here at Baylor University, and I just get a kick out of the fact that my whole career is helping students like yourself navigate that journey to Baylor. I like to say, I know I'm the plan B person. Not many people plan out their college journey thinking I'm going to transfer somewhere. Typically students like to know where they're going right away. And so I'm that plan B person where either you went to a community college and had to figure out, okay, where am I going from here? And then figured out Baylor. Or maybe you applied to Baylor for your first year and either didn't get in or for some reason it didn't work out for you to come. And so then you went to another school and came to Baylor. So many different stories that might lead you to being at this presentation here. And so I have a passion for transfer students and I'm so eager to help you out. And so without further ado, let's just jump right into it. We're going to cover a bit about who we are here at Baylor, a bit about the transfer admissions process, and touch on all of that. And so again, welcome, and we're so glad you're here. This is me. I just like to start off with honesty. I need to give you a little confession. That picture on the right-hand side of me at Baylor Stadium doing the classic Sikkim, that was about 3.5 years ago, and that was my very first time at Baylor. So no, I actually did not go to Baylor as a student myself. I wish I did. That is one of my greatest wishes, is that I could have come to Baylor, but I didn't know Baylor existed when I was your age. And so with that being said, I loved Baylor. I found out about it, applied for a job here, and my husband and I skedaddled over to Texas, and we have not looked back since. We absolutely love it here. And so that was my first day at Baylor. You'll see me again at McLean on the left-hand side. That's my husband and I at the amazing UT game last year. The school spirit here is just phenomenal. And then I've also loved getting involved with the student body here. So that middle picture is me with a gal named Shay, who came here to Baylor from Hawaii. And so last year was the first year that the Hawaii Club put on a luau. And it was absolutely incredible. That is just one of our many multicultural organizations. And so being part of the Baylor family is absolutely amazing. And I hope that y'all get to join the family soon too. So just to start off with some facts about Baylor, just some general information for y'all. I know we've got students joining us from all over the world today. So we are located in Waco, Texas. That is smack dab right in the heart of Texas. So that's truly what it is called. The heart of Texas is that middle area of our state. So we are about 100 miles south of Austin and 100 miles north of I got that mixed up. I'm so sorry. Dallas is up here, Austin is down here, we're right in the middle. So we're just south of Dallas and just north of Austin. So right in the middle. We are a mid-sized town. And so it's lovely because we don't have the traffic of a big city, but you've got everything that you would need here. My husband and I moved from the Los Angeles area, and we don't feel like we are missing out on anything being in Waco. It truly is a mid-sized town with everything that you need, just minus the traffic. And it has kind of that small town charm here as well. And so it's an amazing place to be. We were chartered back in 1845, actually, by the Republic of Texas. And so Baylor is the oldest continually operating university in the entire state, which is amazing. We just have that long lineage of history and traditions, which we'll get into a bit more. And we have about 15,000 undergrad students. And so kind of matching Waco, Waco's a mid-sized town. We at Baylor are a mid-sized university, definitely larger when it comes to private schools, but we're a lot smaller than all the other state schools here in Texas. So truly right in that middle ground. And kind of speaking of finding ourselves in that middle ground, I think one of my favorite things about Baylor is what I like to call this juxtaposition of big school opportunities and a small school feel. You get the best of both worlds. And since this is college, let's start by talking about what that juxtaposition looks like in the classroom experience. And so with regard to academic excellence, our big school opportunities are going to be the fact that we have over 120 academic majors and programs. We have so many different areas for y'all to study. And so lots and lots of options for you. And you'll notice a pattern at Baylor. A lot of students double major or have a minor. And so that high achieving ability is there. And so if that's of interest to you, just know there's lots of options. And no matter what you choose to major or minor in, you get top tier research opportunities. That's another big school opportunity that we have here at Baylor. We're an R1 research institute. And so that's a designation from Carnegie that essentially means we do the highest level of research possible in the United States. For context, only about 130 schools in the US are R1, with us being one of them. And so you get that amazing opportunity. But with that, again, we have that transition where you still get the small school feel. So you get to do R1 research with your professors, not just with TAs or grad assistants, but you actually get those connections with your professors and with your faculty and staff. Our average class size is 26. So you're really going to be able to keep that small school experience. And another way of looking at that is we have a 15-to-1 student to faculty ratio, which is almost unheard of for a school with 15,000 students. And so again, you just get the best of both worlds. I also want to mention as we continue on, there is a Q&A feature at the bottom. And so if you have any questions as we go through this, please just use that feature and then I'll save some time at the end for us to get to all of your questions. But diving in a little bit more to academics, I mentioned we have over 120 programs, so lots to choose from, and just wanted to touch on some of the most notable ones. So we have an incredible School of Business within the Hankomer School of Business. We've got majors that are very classic, like management and marketing and finance and economics, but we also have unique majors that I think just really shine. For example, our entrepreneurship program has been ranked by the Princeton Review in the top 10 in the nation for several years now. It feels like entrepreneurship is something that seems new and flashy, like Shark Tank and stuff, but truth be told, we've been doing it for over 50 years, and we're one of the oldest entrepreneurship programs in the entire country. Alongside that, we have got our accounting program. We have a 4+1 program, so you can get your bachelor's and master's in an accelerated format. Even as a transfer, it is possible. And our accounting students have the highest CPA pass rates in the state of Texas. So really, if you want to do accounting and you want to come to Texas, this is the best place to do that. And a lot of other programs as well. But moving on, the sciences are another big hitter here at Baylor. Everything from the classic pre-med. So many students come in as pre-med, and we do get students in a medical school over 2 times the national average rate. So we know what we're doing when it comes to getting students into medical school, even into physical therapy school, veterinary school, etc. We've got a lot of pre-health programs. We also have an amazing School of Nursing. And so I see a lot of students wanting to transfer to Baylor for nursing. And so you'll actually do the last 2 years of nursing are done in Dallas. Our one location up in Dallas is the only major that is split like that. But that's something definitely that would warrant a further conversation with you if you're interested in that. It's an amazing school up there and an amazing nursing program. Some other majors, engineering, computer science. We've even got some very nuanced majors. We've got an aviation sciences degree. So we have a whole flight school with a fleet of Templin planes and helicopters. So if you want to go into flight, or if you want to become a fashion major, we have apparel design and merchandising. We've got interior design. There's so many options for you here at Baylor. So I'm excited for y'all to dive in. And of course, we want you to develop those relationships with your professors. You know, like I said, we have a 15-to-1 student to faculty ratio. So you really will have the opportunity to connect closely with them. But if you have some other questions or need some tutoring, anything else, the Paul L. Foster Success Center is phenomenal for you. So like I said, there's free tutoring. They've also got a program called supplemental instruction where you can go to an extra class session taught by a peer who has already gone through the class before and aced it. That usually helps students on average get a higher grade of at least a full letter grade. So that is an amazing opportunity. And there's a writing lab, a math lab. Truly, the Success Center is just there to help you with all your academic needs. And then another office on campus that exists just to serve y'all is the Career Center. Of course, their focus is on career and professional development. And I love my transfer students because typically y'all are thinking a little bit ahead. You're thinking about what is the return on investment here? And so I'm happy to say that over 280 employers have attended our college fairs in the last year. And just last year, we had 720 Career Center events. And so they are staying busy and they're definitely making sure that there are ample opportunities for you to connect with possible employers, whether that's for internships or for future job opportunities. Speaking of internships, we had over 10,000 internships posted through Handshake, which is our premier platform that we use for career networking and job search. And then speaking of that, we also have over 26,000 jobs that have been posted through Handshake. So there's no shortage of opportunities, again, for y'all to get that ROI here. But of course, you know, we want you to be future focused when it comes to that. But your time at Baylor, whether that's 2 years or 3 years, typically with transfers, it's between that. We want you just to enjoy and find that return on investment through the day-to-day activities of just being involved in student life. We have over 350 clubs and organizations. There's so many ways for y'all to get involved. There's everything from Greek life to multicultural orgs. Of course, our sporting events are very big. And so there's lots and lots of ways for y'all to get involved here at Baylor, and just to find your place, find your little niche here. But despite however many clubs you're in, you're going to stay busy. We've got so many traditions here at Baylor. Like I said, we're the oldest college in Texas. So that comes with just that long lineage of history and traditions. I could tell you about a million of them, but I will just tell you about one for today. So back in 1909, Baylor had the very first homecoming ever in the United States. And so every fall, it's coming up actually in just a couple of weeks, we have a homecoming event, and it's a whole weekend. And so it starts with, the parade, there's a big bonfire, and then there's a football game. And so I'm kind of cheating and I'm giving you two traditions in one. But at the football game, there's another tradition called running the Baylor line. And so incoming transfer students, you get to be part of this. You just get a gold line jersey, and it has your name or nickname on the back. And then before every single home football game, all of our incoming freshmen and transfer students get to start off in one corner of the field. And then right before the game starts, they release you and you rush across the field, and you get to create this human tunnel for the football team to run through. And then once they go through, you get front row seats right behind the opposing team. So you really just get the best seats in the house, and it's such a fun tradition, and it's just a way to honor you as our incoming students. And so hopefully you can visit campus and learn even more about other traditions. And it's truly just such a special place here. But with that, we're going to shift gears a bit and just chat about, okay, now I want to come to Baylor. How do I actually get here? So here are the steps for how to apply. If you want to screenshot this page, you totally can. All the information is also on the website. So first step is deciding how you want to apply. We've got 3 entry terms for transfers. There's spring, summer, and fall. The deadline for spring is November 15th. So if you want to come next spring, the deadline is coming up. For summer, it's May 15th. And for fall, it is June 1st. And then you'll create your Go Baylor account once you decide that. Go Baylor is the one and only place to submit your Baylor application as a transfer student. So you'll create a Go Baylor and start and submit your application. And then we get into the last pieces that just determine what you actually need to complete your application. And so if you have completed less than 24 credit hours since graduating from high school and complete, not like you're in it, but you have actually completed 24 and have final grades for all of those, then we will want you to submit your final official high school transcript, your SAT or ACT scores, and then all of your official college transcripts. Skipping the last bullet point just for a moment, we'll move on to the last big box. So if you have completed 24 or more credit hours, then we need all of your official college transcripts, and that's it. And then that last item says, if applicable, we need a break in education statement. And so if you've ever taken a semester or more off of school, just give us a brief statement about what you're up to. We know students will take time off due to injuries or having children or military time or whatever it may be. So we're not being nosy. We just need it for really boring auditing purposes. So just fill that out and submit that. And then fingers crossed you're accepted. The average GPA minimum to get in is a 2.75, but for some majors it is higher. That can all be found on our transfer admissions page, but just to name a couple of the exceptions is for business, you need at least a 3.0. For engineering, you need a 3.0. For pre-med, also a 3.0. And then for biology, chemistry, and biochemistry, you need at least a 3.5 GPA. So those are the main ones with the extra requirements, but otherwise that general minimum is a 2.75 cumulative college GPA. So hopefully if you meet that, hopefully you are accepted. And if you are, then we will just be so thrilled to welcome you to the family. And the next step for you then would be submitting your $500 enrollment deposit. So if you're coming in the spring, that is due by December 1st. For summer, if you're coming in entry 1, which starts in June, then your deadline is May 1st. If you're coming entry 2, which starts in July, your deadline is June 1st. And then the fall deposit deadline is July 1st. So that is when you need a deposit by to be able to get enrolled in classes and get all those next steps rolling, apply for housing if you'd like, etc. I will note though, there's the big word right up at the top that says it's refundable. So it is refundable if you change your mind and have to cancel your enrollment to Baylor, but it's only refundable up until this deadline. So for example, fall is the most common start time. So let's say you deposit for next fall around March and you start to enroll in classes, and then come April or May, you realize actually it's not going to work for me to come this semester. You can cancel and receive a full refund. if you cancel your deposit after July 1st, then we won't be able to refund. So just keep that in mind. And then, of course, we want to see how your classes transfer over. So we will give you a transfer credit evaluation within 1 to 2 weeks of being accepted. But if you have some questions and want to see before the official evaluation how your credits might come over, you can use the equivalent course tool, or ECT, right here to see how that your credits would transfer over. I will say though, the ECT right here only shows courses that have been frequently transferred in the last 5 years. It's not a fully exhaustive list. And so if you don't see all of your classes on there, that doesn't mean they will not transfer necessarily. It just means we need to officially review them after you're accepted. And then, of course, we also want to review you for a merit scholarship. And so these scholarships range from $9,000 to $13,000 per year for our students. This is based purely off of your cumulative college GPA. So it's very straightforward, and we'll announce your scholarship when you're accepted. I will say, so these are our scholarships currently, and if you're applying for the spring 2023 semester, this is what it is. I just received word that we are updating them for fall. And so if you're planning to apply for fall of 2023 or later, we're actually increasing them by $2,000 at each level. So starting again in the fall of 2023, if you are entering in, then it will range from 11 to 15. So just as a caveat for this, if you start in the spring semester, that doesn't mean that your scholarship will increase when you get to the fall semester. It means whatever semester you start, you're kind of locked into that rate. And so for starting in the spring, this would be your scholarship rate for your rest of your time at Baylor. If you start in the fall, again, we're increasing it. So that's exciting news. We also want to review you for need-based aid. And so I recommend you submit the FAFSA, which is that free application for federal student aid, as well as the CSS profile, which stands for College Scholarship Service Profile. So we do need both of these in order to review you for a full need-based aid package. So submit both of those, and then we can review you. But we're hoping, honestly, that you just save some money even by coming to Baylor. We love to show this page. It's so fun just to see how the average cost of living here in Waco is so much less than other places. So wherever you're moving, it's probably going to be cheaper here in Waco, having your cost of living be lower, but it's amazing here. So especially average cost of a 2-bedroom apartment, most students, they'll share a 2-bed, 2-bath, and there's 2 people in each bedroom. And so if you're doing that, it's like $250 a month for housing. Or if you both want your own room and own bathroom, splitting that, that makes it about $500 a month. And so that is just wild and so much less than many other places in the United States. And all the other things, of course, will just reflect. I know we're going through a bit of inflation right now. So of course, things are a little different. Our cost of gas, I will say right here, it says $2.76. These days it's $2.99 here in Waco. So just to give you some true context, it's not too far off. Most of these costs are truly pretty accurate to what it is, but don't take my word for it. Come visit. We would love to have you on campus just so that you can get to know our community. Come visit Waco, come visit Baylor. We've got actually a couple in-person events coming up specifically for transfers. It's called Transfer Friday. There's one on October 28th and another on November 11th. And so hopefully you can just go on our website, look up Transfer Friday, and see if you can register for one of those events so that we can see you on campus. We would just absolutely love to have you. But if you have any questions, please reach out to one of us. I'm the main transfer coordinator, of course, but we've got our different regional counselors who live all over. So Amira Alvarado, she's incredible. She lives in Southern California. So she serves any student from California who's out at the San Luis Obispo area or below. And then Jordan Santos serves right above San Luis Obispo and above all the way through Northern California, Oregon, and Washington. And then my friend Jan Kester, she serves students from Colorado. And so if you're in one of those states, one of them will be serving you if you're transferring from a college there, but otherwise I will be your main contact and we'll be so glad to help. But with that being said, I know that a couple questions did come in. And so I am just going to bring up our Q&A and let's see. All right. How can you find out what state community college credits transfer? My son is looking at running START and would like to take courses that will transfer to Baylor. I looked at the local community college in Washington, and it was difficult to find out what classes or credits transfer. Great question. So with the ECT, like I said, it only shows courses that have been frequently transferred in the last 5 years. So I know there are a lot of students we have from the Pacific Northwest. So there are quite a few courses on there, but again, don't be surprised if you don't see every class. We just do our best to upload all the students who do transfer to Baylor. We try to put their courses back in to show what's already been pre-approved. I will say though, I have a trick for you. So there's a place where, again, there's the state. So you set the state to the right one. So again, sounds like Creates Washington. Set the institution to a community college. Let's say like Bellevue College as the local community college. And then you can enter in the subject and course number, like English 1301, and click search courses. But that is pretty tedious and it's hard to see, any other courses. So I recommend just set the state and institution, leave subject and course number blank, and then click search courses. And that will actually pull up that full list of all the classes that have been frequently transferred in the last 5 years. Again, it's not a fully exhaustive list, but hopefully it's at least helpful. And you most of the time can't go wrong with some of those basics like English, history, intro to psychology, just those basics that most students need. So I encourage all students just to keep the syllabus for all of their courses in case we need to review that. Great question. Another was, okay, somebody wasn't accepted for the fall and they were recommended to apply for spring. So they attended college in the fall, looking to transfer to Baylor in the spring. Do you need to go through the application process? And are these classes transferable? Don't be sorry that it's more than a question. That's what I'm here to help with. Yes, so if you weren't accepted before, please apply again. We would love for you to apply again. Usually for transfer students, if you're not accepted, it's usually just a matter of getting your GPA up. Baylor is very rigorous, I will say. Again, I didn't go here, but my husband finished his degree here. Most of my colleagues went to Baylor and I'm like, oh gosh, like Baylor's academics are very intense. And so that's the heart behind our admission decisions, is making sure students are a good fit. And especially with transfers, just making sure that academics are there so you don't invest in Baylor only to not quite be ready for the rigor. And so just hear us say that, we want you to reapply. And so I just recommend, take some more courses, get your GPA up, and then you do have to go through the application process again. So I'm going to go back a few slides to the right here. And so this is the main indicator for what you actually need to submit. Again, if you have completed less than 24 credit hours, we need your high school transcript. Test scores, we've been able to waive those so easily due to COVID. So if you don't have those or don't want to submit them, just connect with us and we can waive that. But really you need your high school transcripts and college transcripts if you completed less than 24 hours. If you've done more than 24 hours since graduating high school, then all we need is your college transcripts. A little caveat for this is most students, they typically do have the question about, what if I did dual credit? Like what if I did dual enrollment while I was in high school? I completed some college courses, maybe even got my associates. Does that mean I only need my college transcript because I have more than 24 credit hours? Unfortunately, no. We'll review all your dual credit. Any college work you've ever done, we will review for credit. But if you did it while in high school, then we still need your high school transcript. Again, when we're looking at the 24 credit mark for what you need to submit to complete your application, we're really looking at how many college credits have you done since graduating high school. So I hope that helps. And then again, with any, seeing if any of your courses are transferable from Hill College, just use that equivalent course tool with that little tip of just doing the state and institution and clicking search courses, and you'll see. Oh, study abroad. Okay, sounds like it was you were accepted for Verto. Yes, so it is still that same process. You need to submit your application. You should be, it's October, so you should be getting like an email about an intent to enroll. So just be sure to submit that. There were a couple different like channels for Verto. So without knowing further information and talking one-on-one, I can't speak too much to exactly what you would need, again, just because there's different requirements for our different channels with regard to Verto. So just connect with us and we can pull up your file and give you some good information. So I'm actually just going to type as an answer to your question, our email address, so that you can reach out and we would be glad to help you. It's just transfer_admissions@baylor.edu. So all y'all, you can go to the Q&A, and if you click on looking at the answered questions, you can see the answer to the last question, and it's just the transfer admissions email. That is my timer saying it is time to wrap up, but truly so grateful for all of you just spending your afternoon with us. Hopefully you've been able to enjoy the sessions at Premier and just get more information and see what it's like here. We're so thrilled to hopefully have you on campus someday soon. Again, it's a beautiful day. We'd love for you to visit. So just reach out to our visit team, visit@baylor.edu if you'd like to set up a tour. In the meantime, I hope y'all have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye, everyone.